My books that I have out are the Gracing Realm series, and my new book is called Jane Unlimited. I don't know if you do you have copies? Like,
We have copies of Jane Unlimited, and I think we're supposed to give them to you to sign.
Thank you so much.
Oh, the books are kind of hard to get out. But we have posters signed for all of you guys that all the authors have signed, so you can collect those on your way out.
Thank you. Yeah, so
It's lovely to meet you.
yeah, it's lovely
All
to
of
meet
us.
you too. And I want to know if you have questions.
You came prepared. It's awesome.
She's a teacher. She has the questions are ready.
Oh, of course I do. Awesome.
It's so great.
Okay, so my first question is,
I can actually see this. Can I look at
Yeah, of course.
So cool.
Can you look at your own book? Sure. Like,
That's so cool.
that's okay. Yeah. It's so nice. All right. Take care of this.
Can you talk a bit about your writing process and how it differs when you're writing a series versus...
Yeah, so, well, I mean, the funny thing is that I never meant to write a series. I never felt like I was writing a series because I would write, so my 3 books in the Gracing Realm series are each standalones, and each time I wrote one, I thought, oh, I'm just writing one book. This is the last book I'm going to write. So I never really got so much of a series feel, whereas with this one, I think it actually is a true standalone. Like, I don't, partly because it was really, really challenging to write, and I don't know if I want to do that to myself again. Yeah, so the structure of this book is that, so there's this young woman who comes to this like house of mystery, and she's an orphan, and it feels like there's something weird going on in this house. Like, there are people there who are making references to her past and they've never even met her before, or just people who are acting strangely, and at a certain point she has to make a choice of who to follow, and then the book splits off into 5 stories, and that like simultaneously occurring stories, and each story is in a different genre. So if she goes one way, she ends up in a mystery, another way a spy story, another way a horror story, another way a fantasy, and another way a sci-fi.
This is one of the books I'm super excited about. I'm very excited.
Thank you. So the process of writing it was just unlike anything I have ever done, or probably will ever do again. It was a lot to keep straight.
How did you come up with that idea?
You know, it's so funny. People always ask that, but
I know,
but the problem is that,
specifically this one
but
is
the problem
very
is that
different,
when you're having an idea, you're not really noticing why it's
yeah.
you know. So I honestly don't remember. I just know that I loved choose your own adventure books when I was a kid, and so I sort of had this thought of, well, what if I did a choose your own adventure but differently, so where you really get to know the characters and where there aren't as many choices. And then I can't remember why I had the genre idea, other than that it sounded fun. Yeah, it sounded like, what if all these things actually were happening in this house? I wish I could remember where that idea came from. I hadn't at that point read a lot of cross-genre stuff. I just love genre fiction. And I have never really understood how there's this sort of ranking in the world, like literary fiction is so much more important and meaningful, and that never made any sense to me at all. So I just kind of wanted to. And in fact, in the first draft of this book, for every story, there was also a little option to just escape the story and do nothing and go like sit in a room and live a life of quiet meaninglessness. And I was my joke was that like those are my literary fiction sections. And my editor was like, okay, that's funny, but you like this is just taking up space and you're being a little mean. So like, but it's true. So.
How would you compare Jane to your previous female protagonists?
So that's a good question. I mean, she's a contemporary character. She is similarly a little bit lost and trying to figure out her place. And she finds 5 different places because there are 5 stories, but I guess my hope is that you get a sense of how a person is the same person no matter what they choose. I guess I'm trying to think more specifically about her. It took me a while to get to know her. In the first draft, I didn't specify the gender. The first draft was written in the second person, and like a choose your own adventure. And I didn't specify the gender just because I thought that would be an interesting exercise. And then just realized that I needed to turn this into more of I needed to know more about this character, not just gender, but like everything about them, and stop pretending that the reader is going to just insert themselves in because I'm saying the word you, like it wasn't really working. So then I turned her into a young woman just because, I don't know, that's easier for me to write because I'm a woman, I guess, but also I can do more with feminist themes if my main character is a woman, so I guess that's another way she compares to my previous characters. She thinks a lot about what it means to be a woman, I think.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I know.
I love this like meta structure.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is that people who have read it ask me questions, and they're such meta questions, and they think that because I read the book, I'm like smart enough to understand their questions, and I'm just like, I don't understand what you, and so I have to pretend that I understand what they asked.
You know, I'm having all sorts of like postmodernist flashbacks to my English major.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I get asked those sorts of questions. It's like, it's been a really long time since I was in school. I don't understand those words.
We won't test you on theory. Yeah.
Here's a fun question. If you had an umbrella decorated by Jane that reflected your dreams, what would it look like?
Oh, wow.
I love that she has this already. Like, such a teacher. So great.
Otherwise, it would be just a lot of food.
That is such a wonderful question, and I collect umbrellas, which is why. So I love umbrellas. So I guess that's such an exciting question, and I think that maybe so in this book, Jane is an umbrella maker, and she makes 5 different umbrellas because it's 5 different stories. I think I would want those 5 umbrellas that Jane made, because this was my dream, you know. So, but I would have to think about that. That's an awesome question. I think an umbrella that like was a house and had little doors and windows would be very cool. I'm so curious what you have next on that list.
I know.
Okay. So the novel takes place at the island's mansion of, I'm sorry if I pronounce this incorrectly.
I won't pronounce it correctly
Two
either.
Ravens?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine.
Which seems like a character within itself. So can you just give us some hints about what makes that so special?
Yeah, so I'm glad that you feel like the mansion is that sort of. I guess I learned that myself as I was writing. Like I learned how special the house was and how unusual the house was. I think it. Okay, this isn't that I don't understand this question. It's that I'm just kind of. It's hard for me because I've never really thought about it that way. I did a lot of research into fancy houses because I just wanted. What if it was like the dream house? What if I could have every kind of room, a house that had every kind of room that I would want in a house? You know, so some houses have bowling alleys, so this one has a bowling alley. Some houses have a swimming pool, so this one has a swimming pool, and then just the kind of eccentric decorations and so on. I think I just wanted it to be a house of possibility, and so anything that could be in a house is maybe in this house.
Thank you.
Thank you.